Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I want to welcome you in. My name is Austin J. Haynes. If you're getting this for the first time, and I just want to start right out of the gate. Is it time for a change in your life situation? Are you seeking a life reset? Are you seeking a reinvention? I know this is relevant because I just heard Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins is the famous author, created the 5-second rule. When I started to talk about life reset, I saw all this content from Mel Robbins. So I know it's relevant. You in wherever you're going to find this, whenever you're going to find this. And I'm excited to introduce my guest co-host tonight, Miss Lisa Fratelli. Lisa, I'm excited to do this, co-host this with you this evening. How are you, first of all?
Oh, good, Austin. Thank you this is exciting. I love being here. I'm just excited to be here. Thank you.
I just want to take a moment to honor you as we set the show up. You have spent a lot of time. Don't worry, it's all good. We get distractions. We're going to roll with whatever happens. I love the fact that you've invested a lot. I mean, if we talked about your journey to get here, that would take an hour. So we may have to get little bits and pieces here. But you are a neuroscience. I call you an expert because of the investment, the courses, the study that you've done, and you've morphed that into this neuroscience coach. So really to get behind the curtain of what's happening with people, what's happening with their brain, what's happening with their nervous system, to unlock some of this stuff so that you can get a perspective and help them move forward. So I'm excited to co-host this with you and to add your perspective as we get to meet folks and hear their stories tonight. Are you excited?
Yes, I'm thrilled. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
Yes, very excited.
So if you're an audience, if you're joining us live, I'm glad you're here. And we follow a process here where we have a plan, but we're willing to throw the plan out because things get dynamic. How many of you know what I'm talking about with life? You have a plan and all of a sudden you begin and all of a sudden your plan is irrelevant. So you need to adjust, and that's real time. So we're going to do that. But before I move forward, I want to welcome in our guests, and I'm going to set the show up. I'm going to welcome in, we have Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Roku. We have YouTube right now. We're YouTube Live. We're on LinkedIn right now. We're on several Facebook platforms. So we are reaching out, and we're doing this all through E360 TV, which is our partner. And I'm excited to mention that at the top of the next hour, we are going to have the founder of E360 TV joining us. This platform is well over 1 million views per month, started as a concept, and gives people like me the platform and the voice to be able to reach you. And that's what we want to do tonight. We want to reach you. It doesn't do us any good to talk about all of our accolades. That means nothing if it doesn't illuminate your path. So as we move forward into the show, you're going to hear a lot. Some things may trigger you. Some things may open things up in you. Some things may get you excited. Maybe something gets you angry. I want you to embrace whatever arises and observe it as it comes up, all in an effort to point to what maybe is next for you. Are you willing to do that? Acknowledge that, and let's do this together. So we have an exciting show tonight. This is a show, and it's also a virtual summit. So what's going to happen here is we're going to have special guests join us in the first 30 minutes. And then around half past the hour, we're going to move into a virtual summit platform. We're going to have multiple folks on. We're going to have a panel. We're going to ask some questions. There might be some folks popping in and out. I have 2 9/11, 9/11 tribute videos prepared. We're going to have someone who's 26. We're going to have someone who's 93, and everywhere in between. Because how many of you agree, no matter where you are on your journey, we can all afford to learn from someone. And that's why we're going to have a very talented young man who's a poet and an author. He's 26 and a musician. And then we're going to be joined here and momentarily by an incredible woman who's 93.
It's amazing.
So I'm excited. So I'm going to, Lisa, I just want to pause for a moment and just grab any insights that you're thinking or feeling right now before we get into introducing Hazel.
Well, like my mom is 93. I think we said that before the show started, and they share the same month of their birthday. Her birthday's in April, and so is my mom's. Yes.
Are we talking same year and month?
April 5th, 1931. My mom.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So let me bring Hazel on here in a moment. We're going to talk about this.
Yeah. So.
Group. And I was listening, and it was a Zoom call. Everybody was going around and they were sharing about themselves. And then Hazel came on, and she said, "I'm 93. I don't take any. I don't take medication. I believe in eating lots of fruits and vegetables. Does push-ups every day, and has taught the piano for 75 years."
Wow.
How many of you think that Hazel has something to teach you on longevity and fulfillment? And how about dealing with adversity? Because I'm looking at her book here on Amazon. We're going to talk about this. 88 Keys to Living a Long and Purposeful Life. Now, if I put together 88 keys, you might say, okay, well, midlife. But if somebody's 93 and they put together a book that says 88 keys to living long, are like, that should get your attention?
Yes.
You agree?
Yes.
So without further ado, let's give a warm, beautiful welcome for Miss Hazel Ransbotham. Hazel.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome.
I'm so glad to be here.
We are so glad to have you. You look beautiful. I can see the spark in your eye. And and one thing I didn't mention is that you're navigating technology here. Did you do all this by yourself, getting on here?
Yes, with your help.
But you've been on Zoom calls. I didn't help you, and this is a new platform. And look, you're on here with us tonight, so I'm glad you have some time to join us here tonight. And it's interesting that, do you share the same birth year as Lisa's mom?
Mine was 1930.
So 1 year apart, 1 year and like 4 days apart.
What day is her birthday?
April 5th.
5th. Okay, mine's the 1st.
Wow.
When my oldest brother was 7 years old in school, and the midwife for whom I'm named, her name was Hazel, went to pick him up from school and said, "Guess what we have at home?" And he said, "Well, I don't know." And he said, "A little baby sister." And he said, "Oh, April Fool."
Ah.
In those days, children were not told about a new baby coming, and they didn't ever even realize that it was their mom was getting bigger. They never even thought about it. And nowadays, people, the day after they conceive, they're telling the family they're having a baby. We just didn't. In those days, they didn't know. They had no clue.
You had that like family member who was like in tune, and they knew what the baby was going to be, right? They would tell you, right? There was all these insights about the way the woman would carry the baby. You could tell, and all these different things. But Hazel, I'm eager to get into your story, because I mean, the fact is that you don't take you're on zero medication, and you apparently you do push-ups every day. I'm just amazed.
I do.
But what I'd love for you to share a little bit about your journey here with us, because I really think you have a lot to teach. And I normally say, well, what happened in the past that got you here? And of course, there's so many things, but maybe there's some highlights that you can share with us that got you here, perfectly poised at this point in time to be on this video with us in your 94th year, really.
Yeah.
So please, we were all ears. I just want to hear what you have to share.
Well, I was married 74 years ago. Last Monday was my wedding anniversary, and I never expected to ever have anything happen. In fact, my husband said, "We're never going to even discuss the word divorce. It's not going to even be considered. And of course, that was the way I felt too. So I never dreamed that what would happen did happen. But when he was 49 years old, and I was teaching piano, and I had this 23-year-old young woman who was a teacher, but she was taking lessons from me. I thought she was my friend, and she was from Pennsylvania, and she came out west and was enamored with the Old West, and he was very much that kind of person. And so he took off with her at age 49. She was 23, and I was 47. And I tell you, I thought my life was over. I thought,
Oh my God.
this is horrible. And he had moved us outside of town, a mile past the city limit sign, into a Butler building, a 40 by 60 Butler building that had been used as a barn. I shoveled manure out of it before we moved in. He insisted that we move there while we're building this house, and sell the house in town so we wouldn't have to borrow any more money. And of course, I did not want to do this. We're talking Wyoming, where it gets 40 below zero every winter for at least a couple of weeks in those days. And so we were working on the house the year before. And after we'd worked on it a year, he said, well, I think we should move out there, and then we can sell the house and I can use the money without borrowing any. Well, at that time, my twins were 12 and my other daughter was 13. We were carrying our water in 5-gallon jugs, and they could go to the bathroom and take their showers and everything at school, but I had no place for that. So it was quite a difficult time, but I decided, I always felt I can handle anything as long as it's temporary. So I kept thinking, it's temporary. Well, 2.5 years later, we were still living like that. And that's when he left us. So I had 14-year-old twins and a 15-year-old to finish raising by myself with no money.
And the house wasn't done. So the new house wasn't done.
Definitely not. The children and I had to finish it up. And I talked to the lawyer that I chose, and I made a big mistake of getting him, because I asked him about alimony. I said, I've been married 27.5 years to this man. I put him through college from scratch, and so that he could make a living for us. I've had actually 6 children. The first one was stillborn. So I had 5 living children that I had raised, helped. He was there. He was there physically, but he wasn't there emotionally the majority of the time. Wow. And I asked the lawyer about that alimony, and he said, oh, you're too educated. You're too educated to get any alimony. You won't get any alimony. So I didn't get anything. And the child support, I got $150 a month child support for all 3 children combined until they finished high school. And I had the house.
Wow.
I got the house, but it was a white.
Hazel, I want to interrupt just for a moment, because by the way, I really appreciate you sharing these things are close to the heart and very, I'm even sure now looking back on it, but you said, I thought my life was over, and you were 47, mm-hmm. and your husband left you with a house that wasn't finished, and 5 children. You had 5 children at the time?
I have 5 altogether, but there were only 3 left at home. The other 2 were all away from home.
Got it. And so now, but you're having to navigate. And what year are we talking here? This is
1977.
1977. Wow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And
wow.
I was devastated that this had happened. The way that he would have never admitted that he was doing anything wrong. So I decided I had to find him and take pictures so that he could not deny it. So I borrowed a car, disguised myself, and followed him 150 miles and took.
Oh my goodness.
Got the pictures.
Wow. You wanted to prove it for yourself.
That's right. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it myself. I just couldn't. She was supposed to be my friend. I just could not believe the betrayal. And So I took the covers back on her and said, "Smile, you're on candid camera."
Oh, you did. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, Hazel, there could be a movie about your life. This is wow. This is like, wow. So
And the
you literally pulled the cover off of and oh my goodness.
pictures, yes,
Now here's a question. Are those photos still around? Or did you just get rid of them, burn them?
I still have them. Nobody's
You
ever
s-
seen them.
you
I didn't ever
still
have to
have
use
them.
them. But the motel owner, when I got, went back into it was in a little cottage motel, with each room was a little cottage by itself. And so I went back in to give him the key, and he said, "Lady, you're the coolest thing I ever saw." He said, "I expected there to be screaming and crying and all kinds of carrying on." And I said, "I've shed the last tear I will ever shed over that pen." And he said,
You.
"I can't," he said, "if you need any help in court or anything, I'd love to testify for you." He
You know what's amazing as I'm listening to this story, and I didn't know we were going to go this deep into it, but it's amazing. And again, thank you for sharing this. But I'm just wondering, he gave you the key then. He was willing to give you the key so you could go in there.
uh-huh.
Wow.
But he wanted to call the police first, and
Just in
because he
case.
said, just in case. And I said, "Well, he carries a loaded 45 with him all the time, but he's not going to have time to use it." And he said, "Whoa, I'm calling the police." I said, "Well, go ahead. I've already called him, but they told me they wouldn't come unless he shot me. Then I could call him." And I said, "Oh, that's right. I'm laying on the floor bleeding to death, and I'm supposed to call you then? Well, thanks, but no thanks." So when I went to the motel owner, he said you know, wondered if I was going to have any trouble. I said, "He's not going to have time to use anything."
Wow.
And he said, "Well, this is my place. I'm going to call the police." And I said, "Go ahead. I've already called them, but they wouldn't come." And he said, "But this is my place. I don't want it shot up." I said, "Oh, okay." By that time, I'd taken my disguise off, and I was so afraid that he was going to come out of that little cottage and see me in there. And I was pacing the floor, and he came, the police chief and a deputy came with him. And so it was the man that owned the place, my friend that I had stopped to help me there in that town, and his wife, and the motel owner and his wife, and the police chief and his deputy, and me. And we were all standing at the door, and the police said, I think just two of you should go in." So we both went in, firing as fast as we could, but only with a camera.
Wow. And so it sounds like there was a big buildup. You went in, you took the pictures, and then you just kind of turned around and you left.
As
And
the turtle.
you were done. You closed that door physically and metaphorically. You were going to move forward.
Just,
right?
I just said, "Toodles, tell it to the judge." The first thing he said to me was, "This is your fault." He raised up on one elbow in the bed and said, "This is your fault," pointing a finger at me. And I said, "It's okay. Everything's always been my fault. You can just tell it to the judge now." And walked out. I said,
was this in the state of Wyoming?
"Yes, Grable, Wyoming, actually. It was the town."
And you're in Colorado now, correct?
Well, I moved here when the twins were freshmen, and my other daughter was a sophomore in high school. So I waited till they finished high school, and then I moved here. But it was difficult because I didn't get any money. I wasn't getting any money.
Now, I got to, this was obviously a long time ago.
Yes.
And what was whatever happened to your ex-husband?
He married 5 more times.
Okay, makes sense. So he
got smart. He quit marrying the ones that were childbearing age. He married the older women then. So he married 5 more times after me.
And is he still alive?
No, he died in 2005. I won. I'm still here.
Wow, good for you, Hazel. I just want to pause and let Lisa chime in because I know she's been listening, and
I don't know.
I can only imagine what you're thinking. I didn't know the whole story, so this is the first time we're hearing it.
I can laugh about it now, but it was not funny then.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Wow. I mean, the courts also. I'm divorced too, Hazel. My kids were both under 4.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
Both of I got divorced when I was in my 30s.
Oh, uh-huh.
And my kids were under 4, and the courts were not, this was 30 years ago, and the courts were not very friendly to divorce women. I don't know,
Not at that time.
no, even I know what people get now. I'm like, oh my God. And my attorney was disbarred right after I got divorced. I'm like, holy
Oh,
moly,
my
yeah,
goodness.
he's really, yeah.
Well,
I tried to get mine disbarred, but it didn't work because I didn't think he represented me at all.
well, again, you're talking 1977. I think, like Lisa said, I do think there was different
And Wyoming.
culture in Wyoming. You're right. I mean, so I would imagine, it's not like it is today. And but I give you a lot of credit for
Yes.
doing this. And we have about 8 minutes. So I just want to capture how amazing you are. I want our audience to know what you've been able to accomplish and I just want to, again, highlight you. So you are somebody who wrote this book. Let me see if I can pull this book up here for folks.
I've got it right here in my hand.
Oh, there you go. That'd be great. Yeah. So there's the book. If you're on the podcast, it's 88 Keys to Living a Long and Purposeful Life. And do you want to talk about, this is really interesting. You want to talk about the significance of the 88?
Well, I was 88 at the time I wrote it, and the piano has 88 keys on it. And since that was my whole life career, was teaching piano, it was done in 2018. So 8 was significant in the whole thing. So that's the reason I came up with that. People had been telling me for years, you've got to write a book. You just have to write a book. And I kept saying, I don't have time. And my children, especially my daughters, kept saying, Mom, you've got to write your memoirs. And I kept saying, I don't have time. I don't have time. But I finally decided that I never would have time. You have to make time for what you think is important. And so when I knew I was going to be turning 88, I thought, I'd like to use that title. I need to be authentic and write it this year. So in January, the end of January, I started writing it, and it was launched on Amazon April 17th.
And then tell us what you did. So you wrote the book in 88, and
Yep.
tell us what you did when you were 90.
I read it on Audible. Right after it was published, one of my friends said, oh, well, this is really nice, but what you need to do now is do it on Audible, because I would give anything if I could hear my mother's voice again. Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, I hadn't thought about that. I guess that's what we need to do. So I talked to my publisher who helped me the first time, and he said, that's the next plan. So when I was 90, they came and brought a booth, a soundproof booth for one of my bedrooms. And we put it up, and it was very thick styrofoam, and I had a little window about 9 inches tall and 5 inches wide, and they would put me in there and hold up fingers, 3, 2, 1, and then say start. So I'd start reading, and I was really concerned that I would not be able to read it word for word like it's supposed to be, and concerned that I wasn't going to put the emphasis on the notes. Listen to me, I'm a musician. Emphasis on the words that I wanted to be emphasized. So that was what I was the most concerned about, but it was much easier than I thought it would be.
Well, I want to congratulate you, and I have at the bottom of the screen, you can Google, and it's probably the easiest way, just Google Hazel's name, Hazel, Ramsbotham, just like it sounds, Rams, like Rams, Botham. It's 88 Keys to Living a Long and Purposeful Life. It's on Amazon and Kindle, and it's on Audible. So, I'm going to see if I can get some insights from you, but I just want to highlight this, that you were 47, your husband left, was having an affair, and you thought your life was over. You did what you needed to do to get closure. You drove, you took photos. I'm amazed that you still have the photos. I can't believe it. I think, I don't know what's in this book because I haven't read it yet, but I do want to read your book. but maybe you need to write a legitimate memoir book with your stories, because I feel like I almost want to encourage you, because I think that while this book is amazing, what you've accomplished, even having somebody get your memoirs would be a treasure for your family for forever. So
I thought that was what I was doing when I wrote this book. I want to tell you how I got started on the exercises.
yes, please. I definitely want to hear, because you do, how many push-ups a day do you do?
At least 40, and usually it's 50 or 60. But my youngest son, who is now a pilot with Delta Airlines and has been for a number of years, he was still at home in college here in Denver. And he worked his way through. I did not pay 1 cent on any of my children's college. They all have college degrees, but I did not pay 1 cent. They did it themselves, because right at the time that it was time for them to be thinking about college was when their dad left. So there was no way. I was just keeping body and soul together myself. And so he was the last one at home, and we were at church. And when it came time to stand up after the sermon, evidently my knees went crack, crack, and I didn't even hear it. And he whispered, "Mom, is that your knees cracking like that?" And I said, "Well, I guess." And he said, "Oh, well, you're too young to have that be happening to you already." Well, I was in my early 50s, 52 or so. I didn't feel young. I felt like an old woman. And he said, "You're too young." And when we got home, he said, "I'm putting you on an exercise routine. I want you to do 40 push-ups, 40 sit-ups, and 40 deep knee bends every day, and then do 10 more minutes of cardio, making it a 20-minute workout. And it's not going to do anything but just maintain. But if you will do it, you'll still be able to do it when you're 80. And I said, "Really?" And he said, "I guarantee it." And, that's 30 years away. And I thought, oh, but he says, just think about it. It doesn't take any extra clothing, no going anywhere, doesn't take any money, doesn't take any equipment. You can just do it. But the key is do it every single day. I don't mean Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I mean every single day of the week. Just get up 15 minutes earlier, 20 minutes earlier, and do that exercise. So I thought, okay, I think I need to do that, because I don't have anybody. A lot of people think they need someone to take care of them. Well, let me clue you. Nobody can take care of you. You have to take care of yourself. And it wouldn't have mattered, if I'd had a husband, because nobody can take care of you. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to do that. And I did.
Amazing.
When I turned 80, I thought about that, and I called him and I said, "I owe you my life. I would have never done that if it hadn't been for you telling me. And I wouldn't have listened to anybody else probably, but I knew you loved me, and I knew you knew what you were doing," because he was already a triathlete. And
Wow.
he is now 61 years old. He still wears the same size clothes he wore in high school.
Wow.
He's a kayak. He builds kayaks and races them, and
Oh my goodness.
he's paddling down the Mississippi in a canoe right now.
You know what, Hazel? We need to bring your son back on with you at a future date. Would he be up for that?
He would, if we can catch him.
Well, he can be on the road, because I kind of resonate. I'm always on the road. I'm out. I've done ultra marathons. I would definitely love to connect with him.
He is fabulous. He is paddling down the Mississippi. Started at the headwaters, and right now they're waiting. He has a buddy that was another pilot that's going with him, but he said to teach him. There are several kinds of athletes, and this kind of athlete is one that is consistent, persistent, steady. It's
Wow.
not this pumping iron, real fast and all that kind of stuff. So he's had to educate this other pilot, but they decided to wait until November because of the heat, but they'll finish it. They got as far as Memphis, and so then they're going to go from Memphis to the Gulf.
I'm amazed. I'm amazed. I would love to have your son back with you. I could spend a couple hours on here, and I know Lisa probably could too, just listening to your stories. I just want to grab a share here that we had come in. It's you absolutely need to publish the memoir. Your story is too powerful not to share. I will be patiently waiting. Thanks for your generous contribution and sharing with us tonight. I appreciate your genuine wisdom indeed.
I was going to tell you that people told me that I didn't have to go and do what I did to find my husband. I said, yes, I did. I would never have believed it if I
It
had.
was for you. It was for you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had to do it.
Yes.
I could not believe he would stoop that low. And so I just realized just this year that he was a narcissist. He had a narcissist personality conflict. I didn't know there was such a thing, but I was totally brainwashed that when I went to see a counselor, just before I went to follow him, I went to see this counselor, and he said something. He wanted me to tell him what's going on, and I went blah 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 for an hour. And when I finished, he said something about he's acting like a spoiled adolescent. I said, "What did you say?" And he said, "He's acting like a spoiled adolescent." And I said, "Does that mean you think I have a reason to complain about all of these things?" Because he took his summer pay one time, the whole summer pay, 3 months, and went to Taos, New Mexico to live on his art, and was going to send me money. But he couldn't even pay his last month's rent. He left me at home with all 5 kids.
Wow. It sounds like he would fit in with some of the people today.
With who?
With some of the people today, the younger generation
Yeah,
today.
right. And when he said that, I said, "Really? You think I have a reason to complain?" And he went like this. He put his head in his hands, and he bent down to his desk, and he said, "Hazel, in all of my years of counseling, I have never found anyone as brainwashed as you are."
Wow.
So I was totally brain. I
So
think he would have.
did you a favor.
I think he would have succeeded in gaslighting me completely if I hadn't had those 3 children to bounce it off of. Because I'd say to them, "Kids, am I acting different? Have you noticed me changing any at all?" Because he was telling me I was going crazy.
Well, of course. Yeah.
That's,
So listen, just for time reasons, Hazel, I want to invite you to stick around, but I just want to see this painting here on my wall?
I barely can see it. Yes.
But it's okay. My friend John painted that when he was 96.
Oh, really?
And he's 98. I would love maybe set up a chat between the two of you.
Oh,
He gets up, he works out every day. He's not painting as much these days, and he gave this to me as a gift. It's Van Gogh's Night Cafe, and I had an expert look at it, and they said it's technically spot on. So I'd love to maybe set up. Maybe you could meet John. I think it'd be a great little chat. Who knows? But so you're welcome to stay. Is there any insight? Like, what would you say to somebody who is midlife? Right? Like I said, you were 47. You thought your life was over. There's a lot of folks that are in this midlife dealing with challenges, especially today, with how everything's more out there. What would you say? What would be your advice?
I would say turn off the TV for one thing, and quit listening to the sad news. It's just, you need to. I never have felt like I was lost and needed to find myself. I think that people need to be grounded in what they really believe, what they think is, and of course the Bible is the ultimate truth. Mm-hmm. Studying that and believing what it teaches, it helps people to keep from getting drowned in their problems. And so we all have problems, but life is like a tea bag. You never know how strong you are until you're put in hot water.
Wow, I love that one. Somebody write that down. Lisa, can you grab that?
I like that, yes.
Life is like a tea bag. You never know how strong you are until you're put in hot water. That's a great one. So we're going to share a 9/11 tribute here. We went longer, but it was worth it. And Hazel, you're welcome to stay on with us. Actually, I'd like you to stay on with us as I share this video here. And then we're going to come back. We have some other guests. I don't know where this is going to go tonight. So strap in. Make sure you're taking notes. If you want to type in the comments, feel free. If you don't, that's okay too. And if you're somebody in my community and you want to maybe come on, we're talking about, let me know. We're talking about midlife. We're talking about Midlife Oasis, resetting your life. And then later, I'm going to have a gentleman who's 26 years old, and he's an author and a poet, and everywhere in between. So let me pull this video up here for everyone. I have two of them. I'm going to share this one first. This video I created 2 years ago at the 20th anniversary of 9/11. So this one, I get chills every time I watch it. If you just a little disclaimer, there's a short clip of the towers after they got hit in the beginning. So if you don't want to see that, I understand. Just turn away. But it's only a short clip, and the rest of the video is my visit when I went to New York City, and I think you'll get something out of it. So let me pull that up here. And then I'm going to...
September 11th, 2001, the World Trade Center was attacked. It became known as Ground Zero. After years of hard work and rebuilding, the entire site has been transformed into one of beauty and of remembrance. At its heart is the National 9/11 Memorial. Millions of visitors from all around the world come to this site to pay their respects each year.
Just in case you forgot, it's going to be the 20th anniversary of 9/11 this September. It's been 20 years. The New York City Fire Department members who made the supreme sacrifice in the performance of duty at the World Trade Center on September 11th. "20 years ago this September, our lives changed forever. May we never forget." And I think the other message, at least for me, is that we never forget and that we remember how fragile life is, and that may death and loss drive us more into life. No, I don't think some people may have forgotten, but I think we get further away from it, we lose that contrast. So that's why it's important to remember loss to drive us more into life. You know, and it's also symbolic that no matter what seems to be lost, there's always a counter, there's a resurrection, there's a rebirth. The New World Trade Center behind me, this way, is the memorial. It doesn't replace what is lost, but it's a symbol that, there's new life, there's growth, there's new beginning, there's new chapters, it's new, and it's about embracing all of it, as hard as it and painful as it can be, especially with something like this on such a grand scale. That was 2 years ago at the site of the Twin Towers. And I have another video I'll be sharing with you later where I was at Flight 93 last year, and that was another special memorial. So I want to thank you for being here. We got some more guests coming. I'm going to bring my guest co-host back on, Lisa Fratelli. Lisa, welcome back. I'm going to bring Hazel back with us, who we just finished up with. Hazel's back with us. And I'm going to bring our other folks we have in here. So we're going to be transitioning now to more of a panel discussion. So we're going to learn about some other folks that are doing some amazing things, but had their own challenges for midlife. And I invite you to share this. If this is serving you tonight, if Hazel's story is serving you, what you're hearing is serving you, share it with one person that you believe will get value from this. So let me bring on Maribel Ortiz. And Maribel is the founder of G Model. And you're going to hear about all the things that G Model does. But more importantly, Maribel has a heart for many things, but she definitely wants to inspire younger people. Big advocate for anti-violence, an advocate for getting leaders in front of younger people so they have models to follow and that they can learn from people like Hazel, from people like Lisa. So help me give a warm welcome to Maribel Ortiz. Hello, Maribel.
Hi.
Thank you for being here. And we're going to get to your story here in a moment. I'm going to keep moving down the line here. I'm going to bring on Miss Dana Lynn Banks. And Dana has a project that she's working on, a couple of them, but one of them is very, I would say it's such a heart deep project. And Dana is an accomplished author in her own right with the book that she wrote in honor of her mom. But I think the project you're going to hear about tonight is going to touch you. So we're definitely going to talk about that. So Dana, thank you for being here. And also the video that I'm going to share, Flight 93, you were with me when we did that Power of Pure Presence show. So who else do we have? We have Marlon Mueller, potentially. And then Duchess DJ Love will be joining us here in a moment as well. So, Maribel, what happened? Wait, okay. Wait, okay, I see. We're just going to keep going. So first of all, I just want to, for those of you, let me bring Marlon on. The farm boy who became a multimillionaire, Marlon Mueller, wealth coach. So we got a great panel here. Let me just give you all a little warm welcome. Thank you for being here. Maribel dropped out. We'll get her back on. But first of all, for those of you how many of you listened to Hazel's interview? So I just want to give you a moment to chime in on what you felt about Hazel there. Maribel, I'm bringing you back on. And Mr. Jim Hetherington, I'm going to just throw you right in here. We'll get to know you as we go. There we go. So if you heard the interview with Hazel, I just want to give you a moment. What are your thoughts? I mean, are you just amazed or what?
I'm amazed with the 40 push-ups, inspired.
40 push-ups a day, roughly, sometimes more. Thanks, Maribel. Anyone else want to?
Well, I'm just thinking that when I want to be that age and still have an influence online, I think that's pretty awesome.
Isn't it? It really is. And we didn't even get into the business, which if Hazel sticks around, we'll learn about that. But and by the way, I got to say this real quick. So on Hazel's bio, it says she has more energy at 10 o'clock at night than a teenager at a Pink concert.
Awesome.
So I really, really love that. So thanks, Marlon. Dana, did you want to say something?
Oh, absolutely. So welcome, Hazel. I just want to say that in the short time, so I came on a little bit late today, but I feel as though Hazel is like my twin. She literally has been through a very similar situation as myself. And so not only am I encouraged, but at one point when I was going through this, I thought to myself, does anyone else go through this? And so thank you so much, Hazel. Thank you for your wisdom and most importantly, your courage, because, especially, going through infidelity, it can be shameful, right? Because we tend to blame ourselves, but
Yes.
I need you to write that memoir. I definitely need you to write it.
I thought that was what I was doing when I wrote this one.
I definitely need to hear more. Thank you,
Maybe
Hazel.
everybody get the book, but I do feel like there's more for Hazel to
Oh,
write.
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, Dana.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Jim, did you catch any of the interview?
I did not. I'm sorry. I really feel
Okay,
like I missed something fantastic here, though, because I was caught up on another call.
Yeah. Well, Hazel's 93, Jim. She does
Wow.
more push-ups than you every day.
Sounds like it.
But we're going to learn more as we go. I want to jump in. And Hazel, it's up to you if you want to stay. It's up. You want to hang in there a little bit, or what do you want to do?
I will hang in there.
Okay, great. Just
Yep.
let me know if you want to exit. It's all good. What we're going to do now is I just want to give you all a few minutes so we can learn about you. We want folks to know what you're up to, who you are. There's 3 things that people want to know: who you are, what do you do, and why should I listen? So you're all doing amazing things in your own right. And I just want to give you all an opportunity. Is there anybody that has to exit who's on a timeline? So we'll go to you first. Dana, are you good? Okay. So, you know what, Lisa, I'm going to start with you because you are a guest co-host tonight, and you were on the first segment with the interview, but I want to help you, or not help you. I want you to share and then you can help us kick off the rest of the folks here.
Okay. Well, thank you, Austin. This is fun. And I loved your story, Hazel, all of it. Good for you with what you did. And anyway, what do I do? I'm a neuroscience coach, and I really help people. My background is lots of science, obviously, and finance. So, and my story, I got sick when I was in finance. I was there for 18 years, and 11 of them I was a trader. And while I was trading, I got very ill, mysteriously ill. And I went to 14 different people, blah, blah, blah. I wrote a book about it. But the long and the short of it, there was toxins in my body. There was black mold in my office. And I went to a lot of male doctors who thought I was crazy. I was in my 50s at the time. They thought I was nuts. Thank God I had a background. I worked in mental health before that. And I said, no, I'm not nuts. There's just something in my body that needs to leave. So, and I studied a lot of neuroscience. And a lot of us are just, you can't be creative. Corporations want people to be creative and empathetic, and they want a lot from us. But people can't be creative when we have a lot of stuff going on in our heads. And we're so inundated with technology, more so now than ever, and it's only going to get worse. So, helping people realize that most of all, disengaging from the noise in life is the ticket to being happy and healthy and prosperous. Really, and it's the opposite of what everyone else is doing, disengaging. So.
We definitely want, I know there's more to share there. We'll go when we get around to the second part of this. We want to hear, because I know there's a lot, and I totally resonate with that. So 2 minutes, roughly 2 to 3. Let's go to Maribel. Maribel, we're going to have you back. I know you had some technical stuff going on, but please, share a little bit about yourself. And just so you know, the first one's going to be, who are you? The second one is, what problem do you solve in the marketplace for people? We're going to do this in rounds, so you don't have to give it all in one shot. We got plenty of time. So who are you? What problem do you solve will be the second round. And then insights that you'd like to impart to other people will be the third round. And then if we have time, we want to learn maybe if you have a hidden hobby or talent. So Maribel, please share a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Well, I am the founder and CEO of G Model, which is for prevention of violence and crime with students and families. Also, I'm a missionary. I've been doing mission work for about 15 or 20 plus years. And so I work with different charitable organizations. But with G Model, moving students and families forward, it started in 2012 when Camden city in Camden, New Jersey was the #1 violent and crime city for the whole, actually the whole nation of America. Camden, New Jersey was #1 for violence and crime. And I felt compelled that I had to do something besides just praying. I felt that I was called to action. And that's how G Model was birthed. And I began to work with different educators, constituents, do different surveys and researching and really trying to help students to prevent violence and crime, because it was very, very bad during that time.
I know there's going to be more to share because Maribel, we're working on a project here that Maribel's got coming up, so we'll get more into that. Marlon, I'm going to go over to you. I got your message. I know you got other commitments, so please, for you, why don't you just share your whole message here so we can honor you while you're here and let people know what you're up to, because it's great.
Well, thanks, and sorry I have to run soon, but I always enjoy supporting Austin because he does a lot of great work and helps a lot of people with what he knows and does. So I appreciate him. First of all, I guess I'm in the Midwest. I'm from Iowa. Grew up on a farm. I was 4th-generation farmer. Of course, if you know anything about farming, it's mostly a lot of debt. And right now, it's really going to be a tough situation for farmers. You got high interest rates. You got commodity prices that are dropping, and it's kind of what we got crunched that several different times. From that, I go, we got to figure out how to study finances and how to create wealth, true wealth. So the last 35 years, I've done that. I've just studied everything I can about how to create wealth, but not only just temporarily, but also generationally. And so we're starting an online business program called Your Wealth Resource. And we're basically going to teach people through mindset and then all the connections I have at a high level to help people create that kind of a situation for their families and for themselves. So excited about that. And that's what I've been working on. And writing books with Jim.
Yeah, that's right. Because you're going to hear from Jim. They just got an exciting project out, which definitely Jim will talk about that. And yeah, Marlon, I think you are one of those people that has so much to give, and with your years of over 35 years of study in the wealth space, and you continue to learn, you continue to be a student, and you continue to serve people. Very approachable, successful. And lots more for you as you move into the space of teaching other people, because that's really what you're doing now. And so we're glad that you're here to help and encourage us. So just stay on as long as you want. You don't need to let us know. Just exit when you have to exit. And I just want to ask everybody to share this just share it to one place, one person. It's a huge help, because I've had people message me that I didn't even know they were watching. This is about reaching one person. We think it's about reaching millions. You just need to reach the one person that needs this right now. And that ripple effect, I had someone, I had a message one time. I was contemplating suicide. I came across one of your videos. That's an extreme case, but you just never know. You just never know. So sharing it with one person is huge. You don't have to share it everywhere. One place, one person is a huge help. So let's keep going. Jim.
Hi.
Let's go to Jim. Jim is my accountability buddy, and he's up to a lot of great projects. What can I say about Jim? Gosh, Jim is a solid individual, character, efficient, married. We could share, your beautiful wife Mary, and you're just up to so many good things. And you're another person that is set up for expansion, like to reach more people. So Jim, we're glad you're here tonight.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here. Glad to connect. It's good to see everyone here tonight. This is awesome. Yeah. So my name is Jim Hetherington. I'm from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, way up here in the north. And I've been married for 41 years. Austin always loves me to introduce myself as that, because it just shows how young I am.
Yeah.
And so I've been married for 41 years. I've been I've been an entrepreneur and small business owner for over 30 years. I was a pastor for 23 years. And I just love the space. I started writing books about 5-6 years ago, and I really became passionate about writing books. And I've just studied and worked with a number of authors over the years. And so I've published a few of my, or I've had a couple of my books published. And then just recently this year, I started my own publishing company. We're starting to publish books. As Marlon mentioned, we just did one called Your Relationship Roadmap, which is your best advice to married couples, like couples getting married. And so it was amazing to have a guy like Marlon in there, just with the wealth and knowledge that he has around wealth and investments, because it's so crucial for anybody at any stage, but especially getting into marriage. So that's what I do now, is I work with people to work with entrepreneurs and those that want to get their story out there and begin to get their books published. But not only that, but create programs and continuity programs that they can build out of their message. And that's what I work with people doing.
And community too. Jim's a big advocate of community as well. And Jim was at our last event, Flashpoint, and Jim had an incredible moment of just something you could not script that people still talk about to this day.
Wow. And
Dana can probably talk about that here in a moment. But I just want to point out, Marlon, you've been married for how long? Because before you leave, just so everybody knows.
38 years.
So we got 38 years. We got 41 years. Marlon, you're never going to catch Jim, but you're doing good. But this may be a good connection for you, Maribel, because Maribel's always looking for role models. So there may be a connection there. But Dana, while you're on here, you were at the event where Jim was just openly got up and shared spur of the moment. You still talk about this to this day, don't you?
I tell you, I share it with, so many people in the course of even today. I was sharing it with someone that's going through some marital issues. But I'll tell you, Jim, you just to be in that space, not only did it bring me to tears, but it really, truly was that riveting. Whereas it really made you think about what the male role is in not only marriage, but in any relationship. And so I'm not going to spill the beans, but I encourage anyone that wants to take a look at the video. It is, you can certainly reach out to me. I can share that with you. But Jim, you are just, you're an angel. I mean, you really bring so much wisdom and just, man, that 38 years, that's a long time. But I appreciate what you're doing, and you're definitely making a difference. So.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, and we're coming up on top of the hour, so we got a nice little interlude here, and then we're going to go around the second round. And I want to go back to Hazel when we go to the second round, because I want her to let everybody know what she does, what she believes in, and why she's at 93, still going strong. This is really important. But right now, I want to call out our sponsor here, our partner, Aaron from 360 TV. And I always mess up his last name, but it's Hymas. So it's Heimes. And Aaron is the founder of E360 TV. Aaron is the reason we're able to distribute on so many platforms. I think Aaron prefers to be like in the back room, like, playing with the technology and pushing buttons, but I think he likes to join us live too. So let's welcome Aaron from E360 TV. Aaron, welcome.
Hey guys, how are you? It's good to see you all.
Do you resonate with that? Like, you'd rather be in the back room or
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, much rather be behind the curtain. That's my spot.
Okay. Well, listen, I just want to thank you for, setting up E360 TV. And what are the views at now for the network as far as like your
last month we were 933,000. So we dipped just a tiny bit over that million, but that's normal. Fluctuations.
So again, I just want to publicly thank you for allowing us to. And if you do you want to share about where we're distributing right now, and then maybe what E360 is up to?
Yeah. So right now, we're distributing on Amazon Fire, Apple TV, Roku, iOS, Android TV, and web, all simultaneously. We're going to be expanding that to LG and Samsung here in the Q1 of 2024. So that's that kind of segues into what we're up to right now. We are updating all of our back end and front end systems to give the viewer a better experience, discoverability of content, ease of watching content. So a lot of things that's more just focused on the user experience. And that's going to be rolling out in Q1 2024. It's going to be it's a big facelift. It's our facelift, if you will, our life facelift.
Yeah, and well deserved, and going through the initial phases, and now, what I love about what you do is you just care. You just want to distribute. You want to be able to distribute to as many places as possible, and that's what we're doing here tonight. I don't know who's going to get this. I don't know where. I don't know when. I don't know what country they're in, but people are going to pick this up, which is really exciting. And like I said, you could reach one person at the right time and make a dramatic difference.
That's really it. I mean, it's we are distributing across the world, and you don't know who it's going to influence.
Yeah.
You have shows that will get a couple thousand views. You have shows that get 30, 40, 50,000 views. So you just don't know what's going to resonate exactly with the audience, but it's important that we just keep putting that value out there, and we counter the clutter that's out there and really put, content that value out into this world.
Yes, and we've been doing that, and we're excited to continue to push the message out there. And I wanted to share something, and it just left me. But is there anything you want to share about like vision? Is there any other like big vision on the table that you see?
We want to be the most diverse network on the planet. We think it's incredibly important these days to have a media that serves a purpose, and it's important for us to show the true values of the human beings that are around the world, and we're going to continue to do that because it's achievable and it's righteous. It's a righteous goal. So we'll continue to expand. That's what we're going to just continue. Ain't no stopping.
And I want to go back to what Hazel said in the first part of the interview. She said, turn off your TV. And I think people are cutting the cord, they're turning off the TV, and they're looking for things like this. And that's why I think your platform, I think our views were like, I want to say we were over 25,000 with the two shows, somewhere around there. And I know that people are looking for this, that they're looking for ways, they're looking for content that speaks to them more. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. There's no, I can't say without any hesitation that this is needed content. The more we're discovered, the more we expand, we're seeing that people really resonate with this type of content because, you can get the fluffy or the biased type of content out there, but it's so much better. Hey, just go talk to your neighbor. And this is like talking to your neighbors. You see real life.
Right. These are this could be a Zoom call. Like we could be on a Zoom call right now, just having some conversation, and it's real, So I do want to mention you did have some big name brands on your platform though, right? You got
well, we have NFLPA.
NFL.
Yeah. So the NFLPA, which is the union of the NFL players. We work with National Space Society, which is the largest, oldest space type of nonprofit organization that's been in existence. We have quite a few different nonprofits and for-profits and that we work with. Look at our hosts. The background of our hosts is astounding.
And this is what's beautiful about live TV. So here's what I get the ability to do. I get the ability to introduce another host real time right now. You see how this works? So let me introduce Duchess DJ Love.
Oh, yeah.
She's right here, gallivanting like a royal. Now, this is what happened. I met Duchess DJ Love at an Eckhart Tolle event. We connected. One thing led to another. She now launched her platform, which is growing, Gallivanting Like a Royal, all about showing people how to travel in luxury on a budget And, I was on her show last night, so she's going to be on here with us tonight as we move through. But this was a perfect setup. So, DJ, how do you, we're going to transition here in a moment, but this was like perfect timing. So what do you think so far about doing the show?
I'm enjoying it. Thank you, Austin, for having me be a part of it. And, us celebrating 9/11, paying a tribute to it, keeping it in the minds and forefront of everybody, even though it's been years past. I think that's important. And it's always great to hear someone else's story, because we all have a story to share. And I believe that's what makes us unique, because someone needs to hear how we get through our days and how we progress and the challenges that we have to go through.
I see how she immediately talked about my show, but I was talking about her show.
Oh, I love my show, Gallivanting Like a Royal. Watch me Sundays at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we discuss travel and inspiration and living a royal lifestyle.
And last night's show was amazing. I mean, DJ does not hold back. She gives you all the tips right on the show. It's content rich. Just go back and check it out. So let's, Aaron, any final words, Aaron? I know you got another appointment. I'm glad you just popped on for a couple minutes. Is there anything else you want to share before you exit?
Well, I just say that, remember, we're all good. We're all human beings. We can only control what's in the arm distance either way of us. So continue to love each other and embrace each other and help each other move forward. So appreciate what you're doing here, Austin. And just thanks that was a nice little pop in. I love it. Yeah. It was great to see you all here.
E360, we'll just give them the website.
E360TV.com, or just plug in your Google E360 TV. We're all over the place.
Sounds good.
And
Thanks,
I'm on the
Aaron.
Fresh Takes Network.
You what?
I said I'm on the Fresh Takes Network.
Oh, Fresh Takes. That's right. That's a segment. Yeah, programming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, great. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You got it, Aaron. Thank you for popping on.
Thank you.
So we're going to move around now a little bit. Marlon had to exit. I do want to hear from Hazel because I just want you to get a little peer into her lifestyle while she's still with us here on what she does to stay healthy and strong at 93. And she keeps on going. As a matter of fact, if you were listening, and I think I'm right in saying this, you might have heard some water in the background. Hazel, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Good. Hey, did I hear some water flowing in the background there?
Yeah, that's my tower garden. I'll move to the side. Can you
see it?
Well, I had to turn the lights off because.
Let me see if I can.
But the lights, it has its own lighting system and its own watering system. And I had to turn the lights off because you couldn't see me because of the glare back there. So I unplugged them. But normally you can see them.
That's the tower garden, which grows greens, organic greens and vegetables. And so this is what this is your purpose in a sense of eating healthy.
Yes.
Living a healthy lifestyle. And you just want to talk a little bit about that before we transition here?
Well, as you know, I was teaching piano, and one of my friends that I had met 34 or 5 years before had kept in touch with me all along. We hadn't seen each other in that length of time, but she called me and told me that she had something I needed. And I said, well, I don't need anything. I exercise every day and I take vitamins. And she said, well, eventually, she said, vitamins are chemicals. Our bodies don't know what to do with chemicals, but they do know what to do with fruits and vegetables. And so that's what you really need is fruits and vegetables in your body every day. And so I just kept saying, no, I don't need anything. Finally, one day when I was in my 80s, early 80s, she said, well, you must be in pretty good health or you wouldn't be able to do all the things you're doing. But how long do you think you can keep up that pace? And that's what got me. I thought, I don't know how long I can keep going like this. I just figured I'd fall dead on the piano bench one day. Nobody could fire me as long as people came for lessons. I was still teaching. But I decided to try it. And I was regular for the first time in my life without having to take Metamucil or something to help me.
Wow.
And I knew that I needed to have a good process of elimination or I'd wind up in the hospital with diverticulitis, and I didn't want that again. So I decided to try it. And then I thought, well, that must be what's wrong with my students. They are so allergic to so many things. It seemed like after about 2000, it was exponential about how many more of them were allergic to how many more things. And I shared it with them, and the ones that were willing to try it, and they could get off their allergy medicine in 1 month. And I thought, wow, I need to share this with more people if it's going to help them that much. So I did. And 2 years later, I decided I just didn't have time to teach anymore. I had to share this for the rest of my life, to share healthy living around the world. And so that's what I do now, is to share how you can be more healthy and invest in your health. We invest in everything else. We spend everything else, but this time it's not spending, it's investing in your health. You can get 30 fruits and vegetables in your body every single day for less than the price of a cup of coffee.
That is powerful. So again, connect with Hazel. If you Google her name, I had it up earlier, but I'll just throw it up here real quick. She was one of our key guests today. Open up the show. If you didn't get the beginning of the show, make sure you go and watch the show. The beginning, it is inspiring, very inspiring. So if you Google her name, her book will come up and contact information. So thank you, Hazel, for sharing that.
Thank you.
So let's keep going. Maribel, let's talk about what problem you solve in the world and or for people.
Okay, well, when G-Model started for prevention of violence and crime and moving students and families forward, as I was stating earlier, in Camden, New Jersey, 2012, there was about 67 homicides, according to FBI data. Now, 2022, there were only 23. Now, I can't say that it was just G-Model. I know that I began a journey to help students and families move forward in a city that was the #1 city of violence and crime in the United States of America. But during that time, there was a great collaboration happening. So you had the clergy coming together, you had the law enforcement coming together, you had different social services agencies coming together, different charitable organizations, and just the community, the village came together to collaborate and work together to prevent violence and crime for students and families. And so here we are in 2023. 2022 was only 23 homicides. So certainly the reducing of crime and violence have occurred. I think right now, Camden, New Jersey, or New Jersey, rather say, is probably in the number 40 something for violence in the United States of America. So I presently work, with G-Model. I'm the CEO and the founder, and many people began to believe in the vision. We began to reach students one at a time. The success stories were awesome of how some students came to us with a GPA, let's say a 1 point something or 2 point something, and some of them stood with us 2 years, some of them stood with us until they graduated. They're mostly all the students, I say 95% went to a 4.0, became got engaged with school activities. Some of them had behavioral problems. Some of them had low self-esteem, didn't have the courage to do public speaking. Some of them were being bullied. And just to hear the stories of how these students overcame these challenges. And, we have a great team, a great board of officers as well. When the pandemic hit, we had 2 offices and we had to close our offices. We did talent shows. We did the daddy-daughter dance, which we bring in fathers to help the daughters see what it's like for the future to believe in a king and how a king should treat the daughter. And so the fathers came in with the daughters, and we kind of practiced etiquettes at the table. How the young ladies are to take the fork and the knife, and we did little things like that. It was really nice. We honor mothers in the community because we taught children and students that you are to respect authority that's delegated authority, respect your elders, respect those in authority. And so we teach that in our G model core values. And after the pandemic, we had to close the office. And as the book Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson, which I love so much,
Yep.
we had to adapt to change, right? And I'm sure it wasn't just G model, the whole world had to adapt to change. And so we began to go virtual, and we're still working, virtual with students, and just bringing awareness of how to be safe, bringing awareness of the power of no, how to say something, and bringing awareness of trauma and crisis, just so many things that we're dealing with today.
Wow. And I'm excited to be a part of this little collaboration. I'm going to be sharing an article and a poem in the newsletter. And there's also part of a fundraising push that you're doing right now. You just want to share? Yes, you want to share quickly about that, just what that, and then we're gonna keep moving around. What the fundraiser that you're doing?
Okay, so we presently partner up with Temple University and with the state of New Jersey. We started talking about healthy matters in reference to how we can heal our communities from trauma. Healthy civil rights. And so we're teaching through our magazine, partnering with Temple University. We're teaching students and families and working parents how we can come together and collaborate to heal our communities from trauma. Everybody matter. Everybody matter. And the magazine is called Salfa Magazine.
Say that again.
Salfa Magazine.
How do we spell that?
ZALPHA. And the name actually means Generation Z and Generation Alpha. And so the purpose of that magazine is to go out through Camden County, the state of New Jersey, and throughout the East Coast. And we bring in awareness that everybody matters. Because there's such an era today where if I'm different than someone else, or if I have a different opinion, or if I'm a different political party, it sometimes create chaos. And so we're trying to empower our communities that we can disagree and be different and yet respect one another and love one another.
You just hit it. There. Zalfa, that's the name of the magazine at the bottom. Maribel, thanks for sharing and what you're doing. I'm eager to participate in the event that you have coming up. I'm going to be speaking there. You have that event coming up. What's the date on the event?
The event is November 4th at 12:30 in Cherry Hill. We're going to have it on Eventbrite, Unitarian Universalist Cherry Hill in New Jersey. And we're going to have different constituents there, different people that support G Model. We have different administrators coming even from New York City, from Philadelphia, different educators. We have students and families. We have some parents that we're honoring during that time. We have parents that have children that have challenges, like autistic kids. And so there's many things that we're going to put in this magazine. It's a high scholarly magazine. And some of our speakers, even Austin is one of our speakers, sharing some of his poems. Actually, his history poem, which we love so much. So there's going to be different people there that are supporting our magazine, sponsors and patrons, but we're still looking for sponsors and patrons as well.
So Maribel, just for time, I'll have you back on. So Maribel was supposed to be in the first half hour. We had some tech issues. So I just want to give you some time here. But when we get closer to the event, maybe we can have you back on and talk about it more of what's going on. But this is a great way to introduce it, connect with folks here. So as we move forward, I just want to keep it to like 2 minutes. Have some flexibility. I want you to get your message out there. And I also want to honor everybody here. So Jim, I'm going to go over to you. You're right in the middle of the screen. You are a man amongst women mostly, except there's two of us in here now. So we get the honor here to be amongst these beautiful women.
That's right. It's a beautiful place to be. And I love being right in the middle, just surrounded by this. I feel quite honored by this. But no, I appreciate that, Austin. This is great. And for me, I create, I work with entrepreneurs. I work with individuals and partners to create programs to empower them to next level success and to find that balance between life and business, right? Because we feel these tensions, and over the number of years that the shift that's happened in the world, more people are working from home, online. And now you've got couples under the same roof. And that was my area of expertise, was working with individuals and partners and mentoring and coaching around relationships and how to bridge those business relationships in the home. And then over the last number of years, I've shifted, and now I work with entrepreneurs to help build their business plans. And so we create it right from scratch. I help to extract their story, their genius, and build programs, build out a whole year so that they can get to where they want to be, get the success that they really want to do. And I love still, I do mission work, and I love speaking at churches and in communities to just share the good news that way as well. So that's a little bit about me.
Yep. Thank you, Jim. And I think that it all kind of culminates your whole life work of being a pastor for so long, and your entrepreneurial, it all is crescendoing into this work that you're doing today. And I just want to remind everybody, make sure you're drinking water. That goes for everybody. If you need to leave the screen, go do it. Like if you got to go use the restroom, you want to get some water, you're not handcuffed here. You got to make sure you're drinking water and taking care of yourself. Because I'm sitting here with these lights, and I'm like, I'm going to drink some water.
Thank you for mentioning that, because I thought that I needed some water.
Yeah, go get some water, and then we're going to keep moving. You don't have to stay in front of the screen. I mean,
sure.
People want to hear your message, but you got to take care of yourself too. So if you're ready, I'm going to move over to you, because I know you got a very, what you're working on is very powerful. And I want you to listen up to this, because even if it doesn't correlate to you directly, you might know somebody. This is a very relevant topic. Dana.
Yes, thank you, Austin. So what I am doing is something that is near and dear to my heart. My oldest son, Joe, is 32 years old, and he has been battling a 12-year addiction to heroin. And it has been a very, very tumultuous journey. But I have been with him every step of the way. But Maribel, I just want to commend you for not only relying on your prayers, but to actually take that jump, if you will, because it takes a enormous community to do what you're doing, and for you to give us those statistics on how you've contributed to that beautiful positive change. Thank you so much. I will be definitely getting in touch with you. So my project is called What About Us? And what that is that there are some wonderful, wonderful improvements and dramatic change that we are making in society in reference to substance abuse, and specifically the crisis with the fentanyl and the drug, the substance abuse. But what I want to do here is I want to start a mission. And so it's going to be a book anthology as well as a film documentary, boots on the ground, right in the center. And I'm speaking of Kensington. I'm sure those in New Jersey are very familiar with Kensington. It's like, and I don't use this term lightly, ground zero. There are folks there that just kind of walk around like zombies. And so Baltimore, Maryland, I'm from Maryland, and that's hit very, very hard. But I have recently met some beautiful people that have came into my life, and they want to help. And so I'm in the very beginning stages, but it all starts with one. I don't just want to put a Band-Aid on this, right? I don't want to just, encourage people to feed, the addicts, or, have them go to rehab. I want long-term rehabilitation, long-term recovery. But above all, these are human beings. These people are beautiful. As Mother Teresa says, if we judge people, we will never have a chance to love them.
Mhm.
These are people that have a story. These are people that just want to be heard and want to be loved. And so What About Us is going to definitely leave a lasting impression on what we should or what we can do as a society. We can't change the world, but everyone can do something. And I am definitely ready to do my part. And I encourage everyone to definitely follow along on my journey. And if you're able to to contribute and help, or, offer a prayer, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and I can't see all the names here, but we have somebody saying, I'll be sure to invest. It's a tragic crisis. I don't know who that is, but there is a gentleman who I met who goes to Kensington consistently. He came from there. We got to connect you with him, and he kind of brings these things to the light because it's a unimaginable journey. But Dana, I just want to encourage you, and I'm glad you had your voice here tonight to share. That's an incredible mission. So just connect with Dana, give her lots of support. Maribel bounced off. So Maribel, Dana was just commending you for the work that you were doing. You kind of bounced off, but go back and listen to that playback. So just for time reasons, we got about a half hour. We have time. And I just want to bring on Ann Shibik here. She is a beautiful heart, incredible artist. And Ann was at one of my first events. And so let me bring on Ann here. Ann, welcome. I'm glad you could make it on. And she says, I'm making dinner right now. I said, well, wait.
My camera is just not working right, Austin. You see my have a head?
Okay. Sometimes if you turn the phone, I don't know if yours does, but there you
Does
go.
that help? Did that help?
Yeah.
All right. I see a tiny thumbnail. There's so many faces on the screen, and I'm using my phone. So
Ann, let me just bring you up to speed here so we can hear from you, because Ann is a great midlife story in terms of transitioning. So we started out with just a couple minutes of who you are, just so people know, and then maybe just what you're working on. Maybe like 3 minutes, somewhere around there. And then we'll probably come back to you after, once we get to the latter rounds. But just want the world to know who you are, beautiful soul, how you want to help people with expression and creativity. Let the world know.
thank you, Austin. My name's Ann Shibik. I'm a creative developer, graphic artist in trade. I develop print materials and web social media artwork for front end development. I also have a side business where I teach people how to paint and how to be creative and bring out their inner creativity. I have done multiple painting parties and craft parties for many people in their homes, or at a rented space, or at a restaurant. I have done for many years. I've been a creative artist, many different mediums, acrylic, oils, watercolor, pen and ink, paper projects, all kinds of mediums. And over my 30 years of experience, I've found that I'm very in tune to people's emotions when I am in front of them, teaching them or sitting with them one-on-one. And I find that a lot of people have difficulty getting through certain things in life. And when I'm sitting with them one-on-one and we're doing a project together in some fashion, they feel like they've achieved and expressed themselves in a different way. And it's not just by verbal expression, but by an object, a visualization that they created on their own. I've experienced that many times. And a lot of times the person will say to me, I don't know how to paint. I've never held a paintbrush before, or something along those lines. I don't know what to do. And then by the end of a 2-hour session, they've created a piece of artwork they never thought they could do before. And it's usually completely different than what they thought it would look like. And it makes me feel good about my abilities to bring that out in them. A lot of times it's a verbal expression of what they're going through in life. And then my creative expression, my creative expression and my lesson and my time spent with that person gives them comfort and peace, and they're comfortable with themselves to be able to release these feelings. And that makes me feel really good. That's like sort of my goal right now, is to have more one-on-one time with people that have they're going through traumas or issues. I was talking to someone the other day regarding the fact that she was kind of like a house mother of women who were abused or leaving family, like leaving a spouse or dealing with like a drug issue. They're staying at a house in Levittown, and I have an appointment with them on the 20th regarding this. They want me to talk to them about having a painting party there. And that makes me feel good, knowing that when I spoke to this person, and she said, yeah, that would be a great idea. You know, there's 8 women there. We can set it up at the house, and I will teach them, you know, how to paint, or just give them a lesson.
And I just want to interrupt for one moment here, because I just want to point out that Anne has an incredible gift of creating space for people. So it's the artwork is the tangible facet, but there's this whole other thing that happens when you're in Anne's presence. So I just want to honor you for that. And Anne, when I first met Anne through our good friend Roz, Rozzy's watching. Hey, Roz. Roz was my branch administrator for many years. Amazing person. But Anne said that, she was told she couldn't do art for a living. And she cried. Remember, Anne? And then here you are. It's a long journey. Sometimes it takes time. And I think we need to give ourselves time. Sure, it can happen fast, but sometimes it takes a lot of time. So here you are here. Your journey's continuing to unfold. And we got a comment here. Anne fosters a wonderful, safe space for people to express themselves through art. And if you think about it, I don't know. I think we devalue the value of expression, because we're always, I say we are always, the enemy is judgment and worldly judgment on ourselves. We suppress our expression.
Yes.
And gives you that outlet for expression where you can be in this space where you don't have to think about all that. You can just be in this expressive space.
Yes. I feel confident enough to say that I have the abilities to assist those who are going through just daily, maybe just a rough day or a rough time, or a difficult life. Like, people feel comfortable sitting with me and talking to me, and when we have a creative project to do together as like a focus, an expression, I could teach them how to do a technique in watercolor or acrylic or a craft. When we sit together, I feel that we have a bond that initially becomes like it's insecurity, but then at the end they feel like they've expressed something, and they feel a sense of release, and that feels good.
Yeah.
For me.
So,
It helps them. It's a
thank you.
win-win.
I just want to encourage you to connect with everybody here. And I want to do this. I want everybody to just pause and breathe. This is what we do. I'm going to start doing this more, but just take a moment. Breathe in through your nose. And if you're watching, I can't see you, but I want you to do it. And the doggy wants to pause and breathe. So breathe in through your nose, let your belly expand. Pause and just a nice little reset. And just think about that throughout your day, your month, your weeks, and just work it into your hours and your days because it's powerful. And that's what we do on the Power of Pure Presence. I have a show every Sunday at 10 a.m. called Power of Pure Presence. I just talked about the untethered soul. It's got its own Roku channel. You can check that out. And also I've been introducing poetry. So let me share this. This is really cool. Anne, I had reached out to Anne about creating a drawing for the book cover. And originally she was playing around with some digital ones. You know what she did? She said, I need to draw this. So she drew it. She digitized it. And then my Jimmy, who's on here, who happens to be on here tonight, where's he at? Jimmy, there he is. Jimmy took the drawing. So between the two of their creative genius, hold on. Here's what I'm going to show you what we ended up with. Some of you have seen this already, but here you go. Look at this. I was just so like, wow, this is so cool. So Anne created the drawing. It took Anne, how long did it take you to draw that? Well, you're on mute because your doggy was barking.
Sorry, hon. 3 weeks on and off on my free time.
Right.
It took a bit. It was very detailed.
But the point I want to make is that you cared enough to do something special. If you want something that's special for your work, Anne is the person. She will, it's like a baby. She will nurture it and she'll create something beautiful. So Anne, thanks for sharing that. Let's see.
Thank you.
DJ, I think we need to, you didn't share yours yet, right? The problem you solve or how you're serving people.
Well, I serve people with life lessons. I use it through travel because travel is a way to connect everyone together because everyone wants to see the world, experience the world, or learn more about the world. So I use travel is to motivate people, to encourage folks. There's 8 billion people out there that need to know they're loved, and I'm going to show them some love. And there's all different things, aspects that go into travel. You know, you got to have money to go. You have to have time to go. You got to have some health, to be walking around and enjoy yourself. So there's a lot of different aspects that play into travel. And I bring that to life on my show, Gallivanting Like a Royal, where we discuss travel inspiration and living a royal lifestyle. And as you can see, I have my little crown on because we're all royals. Whether you know it or not, you're a royal, I'm a royal, we're royals. And we need to live a royal life. And I'm going to teach you tricks and tips on how to have that, to achieve that wonderful life. And it's never too late to start doing something that you love. Like for me, this show and my blog and my book, I just plan to blog when I retire, way down the road. I thought after I've worked my wonderful career, I could just retire early, travel the world, and just write about what I see. Well, I was called to do more than just that. And so now I'm doing something totally different. This is all a learning curve for me. I'm not happy to say get in front of a crowd. I can take 1,000 photos to get the perfect one that I want to show you. But when you're live, you can't help what happens. My hair may not look the great day or whatever, like my glasses. I can't get the lighting, so there's a reflection. So all these insecurities play into things. But at the same time, I want folks to see if I can be vulnerable and go for my dreams, they can do it too. If I can succeed, so can everyone else. And I'm using travel as my vehicle to get that message out.
And DJ has her own show.
Very good.
Gallivanting Like a Royal. Look it up. She sponsored Power of Pure Presence for a time. We bring her back from time to time. And here's a comment. DJ knows all the tips and tricks for traveling on a budget. And all you got to do is look at the show she did last night. She loads it with information. So you'll get blessed just by checking her show out and giving her a follow and a like and give her some love. She likes to receive love too.
And I'm going to show off my book, Traveltude. It's 30 days worth of trip tips, inspirational quotes, color photos from my journeys, reflection space so you can use it as a journal. And you also get updates that's coming up on my new books that's coming out from Gallivanting Like a Royal, the book series. Money Matters, Make Your Money Work for You is coming out next.
Fantastic.
That's great.
It is. So check it out. We got a lot of great synergy here. Share it with one person. Tell them to go to minute 43, whatever minute. If you're on the playback, we really appreciate it. But I want to do something special here tonight. I have a special guest. We had Hazel on, who's still on. But let's give Hazel some love here. Give Hazel some love. She's still on with us, and still with us here. And I think she's taking notes and listening. And now we're going to go to 26. I have somebody here who hails out of California, 26, a very talented young man who is an author, a musician, a poet, and he gives me hope for our young people that are coming up. And Maribel, this might be a great connection for you too. His name is Jordan Thomas. He wrote a book called Create, Execute, Repeat, Leveraging Creativity in Business and Life. I'll show the screen later, but you see the synergy here. Leveraging creativity, right? So Jordan, are you ready to come on? I think he is. I'm just going to give it a go. Here we go. All right, Jordan, we got to get your camera on and we got to get you unmuted. Hopefully we can do that.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Yes, we can hear you. And I can always get your picture up if you can't. Oh, there we go. There he is. Look, he stole from my wardrobe. Look at this. Look how sharp he looks. Let's get him up here on a solo view here. There he is. There he is. Okay. So Jordan, you're 26. I just wanted to honor you here because Jordan has been following me for a very long time. He's supportive. He's creative. Jordan, would you say you're more of an introvert? Somewhere in between?
Oh, in between.
You're in between. I kind of thought so. So you've been listening to this. This is obviously for midlife. You're 26. I consider you almost an old soul. What are you thinking about right now as you watch this so far?
I'm simply thinking about what I can extract as far as examples for me to carry with me as I continue to grow. Just examples and life lessons I can learn from those. Also a part of this space.
And Jordan, what did you take away so far tonight? Is there anything that jumps out at you?
I love the fact that people are using creativity and just that creative ability in order to help solve people's problems. I think we need that more of that, and that's kind of part of why I do what I do, and it's an encouragement to watch.
So why don't you talk about what you do now and your vision, and then I'm going to give everybody a chance here. We want to learn about you, and I'm going to give everybody a chance here to speak into your life because I know you're out there struggling. You're working. You wrote the book, so let's just take a moment, just share a couple minutes because we got 15 minutes left, and I want to hear from everybody here. So, just share a little bit about what you're working on.
Well, I'm a recent graduate of public relations. I'm currently doing freelance work for my local city magazine, The Riversider. and it gives me the opportunity to utilize my gift of writing and to write in a way that'll help spread more awareness of things going on in my city and my county alike. And with that, I aspire to utilize that to further help along with my career path, in the hope that I become a resource of helping our nation veterans and first responders alike, and
Wow.
using the gifts I've been given to help organizations that help those groups of people.
Wow. Beautiful. I want to give you an opportunity here to give two messages. A message to your generation, and then a message to these folks online. It could be anything. So there's no pressure here. Whatever comes to mind, your heart. And then I want to hear from everybody else as we'll close out with like a final round here. And I have another 9/11 tribute that I want to share. Hopefully I have time here.
But I do have a poem that's for my generation.
Okay.
And
Let's do that.
It's called The Courage to Deviate. And this is to my generation. We seem surrounded by sound bites with a diminishing attention span, contaminated with more wickedness than when the war began. It's become easier to join the crowd than it is to deviate. More convenient to simply comply with lust, greed, and hate. To forthcoming generations, I urge you to stand bold, to never allow your purpose nor your love to grow cold. Rather than cave into what is trendy, have the boldness to stand out. Your integrity is much more worth it than mere popularity and clout. It will take you much further than compromise ever could. Remain in pursuit of what truly matters, even if you're misunderstood.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow, Jordan. That is absolutely beautiful. Am I right?
It was beautiful. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So I want to give you an opportunity to say a final word here, and I need you to keep it brief. So just give a final word. I'm going to have everybody chime in here we got 12 minutes left. And I'll end with the 9/11 tribute. It's about 5 minutes long. It was my trip to the Flight 93 site. It's it's just kind of footage. So it's almost poetic in its nature. So I want to go around and I want you to give a final word for tonight. And if you want to share something with Jordan. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to start with Dana.
Thanks, Austin. So my message would be that America should strive to be a nation where people respect one another regardless of their differences. And I want to read a poem from Sandy Dahl. She is the wife of Jason Dahl, was a pilot for Flight 93. And she says, if we learn nothing else from this tragedy, we learn that life is short and there is simply no time for hate.
Wow. That is beautiful. Life is short. There's no time for hate. So I'm going to keep going here. Hazel, I'm going to go to you. I really appreciate you being on here with us tonight. You blessed us early on. You've been blessing us throughout the show here. Would love for you to just give us some words here as we move into the close here. You're on mute right now. Let me see if I can unmute you. All right, I'm going to try to unmute you here, unless you got it. There she goes.
I got it. Yeah.
Perfect.
I just want to urge everyone to invest in your health because it's worth it. And it takes so little effort, really, to eat the fruits and vegetables that I represent. Juice Plus, and Juice Plus was started because of somebody not being able to eat through their mouth, and he had been experimenting with drying fruits and vegetables, and he inserted them into his rectum, and he was able to heal him. And that was in 1990, and they decided this needs to be shared with people. We need to get this on the market so that people can really get the number of fruits and vegetables in their body that will help them to build their immune system. So please invest in your health. Contact me. I think you have information on how to get in touch with me, and I would love for you to work with me on how you can be more healthy.
Yes, I'll get your. Is it okay if I share your email address before the show is over?
Email address will be great, and phone number as well.
Okay.
I like the phone number, especially.
Okay, well, call out your phone number. Call out your phone number.
720-810-6161.
Okay.
I live in Aurora, Colorado, which is a Denver area.
Got it. Thank you, Hazel.
And it's been an honor to be on here tonight.
Thank you so much for blessing us with your presence.
Thank you.
Let's go to, let's see, Maribel.
First of all, I just want to say, Jordan, what a powerful poem. We would love to have that poem in our article. I put my email in the chat. Reach out to me. But I love the positive vibe from everybody here today. DJ with the travel, and I love your accent, DJ. Pastor Jim, and Lisa, Hazel. Oh my God. Please, I left my email link on the chat. Reach out to me. And if there's anything I can leave with everyone is that we be slow to anger and quick to show kindness.
That's right.
Beautiful. Thank you, Maribel.
Thank you, Austin, for having me.
Jim.
Yeah, I do want to speak right into Jordan and just say, I can see that you're a man of no compromise, and I can see that your intentions are set strong. And I want to encourage you to keep going with that message and just keep bringing it out. And the final word that I would share is I lost a cousin last week, and I had to do her funeral today. And I encouraged the guests and the family that were there to focus on life. I recently read in Jim Quick's book, he talked about a message. I know it wasn't his, but he said, life is the C between B and D. The B is birth. The D is death. The C is what we're living for. And I encourage every one of you tonight to live a life with the fullest intention that you possibly can.
Yes. Amen.
Beautiful message, Jim. Okay. DJ.
Well, first of all, thank you, Austin, for having me on tonight. And everyone is, join me on this platform with Austin. It's great to meet you. I would like to get you on my show, Gallivanting Like a Royal, because everyone has a story. And I think we are to share our stories. So join with me and let's share our stories. And my advice to everyone is to read this book. It's not by me, but it's called The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. And I think it will help a lot of people because it's our mindset that messes us up, and it's the way we think about money. And to build wealth, you do have to sacrifice, but you can't say that you're doing without something to have more. You got to say that I'm cutting out of this because tomorrow I can have more, and then I can go back and have this. So let's change our mindset on love. I say, let's love the world more. Let's, we're all one in this big world. So let's just love one another. And that's what I say, share the love. Just share the love with everybody that you come in contact with. And Jordan, you're at the helm now. So your generation's got to take us forward. So, go out, spread that love, make a difference in people's lives, and be brave like you are and speak the truth. People appreciate it.
Beautiful message.
Amen.
Amen. All right.
That message.
So I'm going to go to Ann and then Lisa. And then what I'm going to do, just so I get an announcement, for those of you that are on the social media platform, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, you are going to get a special treat because the other 9/11 tribute, we're going to do after 9 p.m. So if you're on any of the other platforms, go over to my YouTube channel. It's at Austin J. Haynes. It's subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. I've been doing this for a very long time, and it's sometimes it's inch by inch, but that's okay. But you really help me out a lot if you go there and subscribe to that channel. Austin J. Haynes. You can find me on YouTube. All right. So we're going to go to Ann and then Lisa and then me, and then we'll share the tribute. So it needs to be short, like a minute.
I guess my message would be to encourage everyone to find your inner peace in each day and make sure that you think about what ways you can express yourself in some type of creative form, even if it's just a small little bit. In any way, it could be any type of creative expression. Just dabble with something like with a pencil, or even it's dance in your kitchen. Feel your inner happiness. Find it in some way.
Beautiful message. Lisa.
Beautiful.
I would say be present and begin and end your day with gratitude. And every day you trade your life for the passing. You trade a day of your life for the passing of time, and you got to ask yourself, was it a fair trade?
Mm.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I'm blessed. Are you feeling blessed? Haven't been here tonight, just from
Yes. Beautiful.
Yes.
And
Beautiful.
it's such a. This is community. We're just doing it publicly. You know, we're in commune, but we share it with the public. And again, someone's going to see it, someone's going to hear it, and someone's going to be touched and moved, even if you never hear from them. So I'm blessed from being here tonight, hosting this. I walk away better. I trust you are too. And think about the generation here. We got 26 all the way up to 93, everywhere in between, stories. If you want more content, how to connect with somebody on here. Lisa is a neuroscience coach. Hazel is an incredible example of health and wellness. Jim, entrepreneurship and living a healthy marriage, what it takes. DJ, mastering travel, but spreading the love and showing people how they can do it. Maribel, doing all the good things you're doing in the world with anti-violence and G model and getting examples to the youth and all the good news that's happening in Camden, and your expression of art and healing people, the space you create. And Jordan, 26, look, he's written a book, and that poem's moving, and an advocate for his generation. So
Yes. Awesome.
Yeah. And so I just want to say, share this with one person, subscribe, follow every one of these people. Go on there, look up their name, follow them, connect with them. It helps a great deal. We're in a society where people get value, they get served, and they don't do anything. It's constantly getting fed, and all you got to do is subscribe. That's it. One small action, one interview. That's it. You don't have to do 1,000 things, just one. So it's 8:59. Here's what I'm going to do. You all can stay on. I'm going to exit my E360 stream right now. Thank you for our audience for being here. And if you want to see the memorial here, it'll be up on the playback on YouTube. So go to the YouTube channel and subscribe. So let me exit out of the E360. Successful. We are still streaming. So I'm going to share this memorial right now, and you're free to leave. I thank you, everyone, for being here. If you want to hang in the green room and watch this, you can. I'm blessed. I'm grateful. And I know we're all going to be connecting really soon. If you're in the audience, stay on. This is from last year. I did a show, Power of Pure Presence. I do it every Sunday at 10 a.m. from nature or from special site. This was at Flight 93 National Memorial. It's a lot of B-roll. It's the monument. It's just a surreal environment. So there's not a lot of content. There's a lot of visual. So I'm going to do that right now. And
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you so much for being here. And here we go.